was a fine Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon, whatever you guys would like to call it, because a wedding has taken place. Everyone is there, cheering, clapping, congratulating, drinking beer, and at the same time, a centipede's crawling by, as two friends are watching from the far distance, just before the invasion, or in this case, bloodshed's about to form. Though at the same time, a certain group of people are about to be formed into dragon. What possibly could that be? And also a certain organization known as the Clowns have reappeared too. Okay, the intro sucked. Let me be honest, the intro sucked. Hey guys, what's up? LuckyRave is here today to, you guessed it, give you guys a Tokyo Ghoul podcast. It has been quite a while actually since I've done a Tokyo Ghoul podcast. What, like almost about a month or so? Maybe? I may be wrong about that. I know the last time we talked about Tokyo Ghoul was about, say, 125. You know, the big Con-Kicks Tokyo moment, the official canon confirmation, which I still can't believe that actually happened. To be honest with you, I still can't believe it happened, and I do admit, like I said in my live reaction, I have missed out on a few chapters for Tokyo Ghoul, but I am not fully caught up to date, and damn, that latest chapter, that latest chapter was certainly something. But, like always, I can't do this alone, so I've got a special friend / special guest with me today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Once again is I, SPARDA3g, thinking that LuckyRave has disappeared from the face of the earth, but here he is back with another podcast, and I'm the guest as always, because we have a lot of things to talk about, especially after missing about 3 chapters, if not 3 chapters, worth of content. And granted, some of them are answered themselves because I guess we have a apparent time skip, but hey, we have a lot to discuss and a lot to theorize on the possibility of this series direction.
Oh yeah, for certain. I mean, I think the best place to start is 126. Not only the fact that Yoriko and Takeomi had their wedding, but remember what I said? Remember what I said about the hand? About it possibly being a prosthetic? Who called it? Who called it? That's the second time in a row, guys. That's the second time in a row that I called this shit right. What?
That's just unbelievable. I mean, like, I'm not saying your chance is very slim to the point that you're the only person in the world that predicted that, because some people predicted, but it's so rare. But it was so rare. It was like, you know, we're so used to Muski because she's so crazy at this point. It's like, I'm not saying she would never do the fake hand trick, but I guess we were so caught on to the moment that was like, oh my god, she really cut her hand. She probably killed Yoriko. She probably, I don't know, take her hostage, did something horrible and stuff. Then the chapter that chapter played is funny because it purposely trying to make you think 2 things. Is either a dream of Yoriko that's like, oh, what a perfect marriage, everything feels so perfect, so beautiful, and then reality hits, is like, oh my god, she looks horrible, she lost her hand, she's so depressed, she looked like she was about to jump off a bridge or something. So that, or you could just think of, like, you know, maybe it was just a way that, like, oh, he's getting married, but you don't see her hand until it becomes very visible at one panel, and then you question yourself, she's perfectly fine. So it turns out neither of them. It ends up being the case that, yeah, everything went through. Hell, Muski didn't even turn her in, saying like, oh, you was hanging out with a ghoul, you're under arrest. So in some sense, she at least give her a spare chance to have the happiness. I mean, it's the only thing that you could say is that Muski is crazy when it comes to the subject of Kaneki, which is understandable because that's where all their insanity comes in. And yeah, she is the same to, you know, when it comes to killing ghouls, she always have of like the time of her life, making it seem like it's the best game of all time. Like, yay, I kill a ghoul, high five, you know. But the point is, anything else, she is stable in some form of way. But still, that makes her dangerous because you don't even understand, nor you could tell that she's a psychopath until you finally hit the weak point of hers. And then when you do, it's a scary subject to think over.
That's true. And I'll be honest, guys. I know that the only guy that predicted the prosthetic hand thing. I just wanted to feel kind of good about myself. That's just it. But regarding which, like, I could essentially say that was Toka's way of saying, well, hold on, what happened? Like, what happened to Yoriko? And we see in 126 that she's fine. Not just that, her hand is good too. So it was like,
I'm so going to die unless you give me that ring back in 3, 2, 1. Oh, nope, that flag is going to stay there for a while. So if I do die, of Centipede, and nobody likes Centipede. The house Centipede is just nasty enough. We don't get that Centipede that we see in that picture. So have us relax, because when we see them the first time back in the part 1, I forgot what chapter number again, but I do remember it was right before Jason doing a hell torment to Kaneki. It was a bad sign, and it still remains a bad sign to this day. So seeing that again, give me all the bad sign that I need to freaking endure this whole damn arc now because of the damn Centipede. Because nobody wants to kill it. Nobody wants to kill it so they can get rid of the metaphor. But no, it's there. So I expect the worst, especially all the buildup they have done for this arc, saying that this arc is going to wipe up the world, wipe out the entire ghouls. It's going to change the world. We probably die. You probably die. I probably become the enemy of the world. I don't know what's going on. One thing for certain, nothing's going to be happy. It's just one step away to do that kind of parody, because that damn Centipede just likes to troll the entire Tokyo Ghoul universe.
I think Ishida was like, in a way, just saying, you know, I know they're gonna think this is a key moment, so let me throw in the Centipede here. And it's like, no, it's like, don't throw in the damn Centipede, Ishida. I get it, I get the metaphor, but I could spend the entire time ranting about the Centipede, but we have a lot of stuff. So the Centipede, we already kind of got our point across. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't the only thing that happened in the chapter, though. Mutsuki and Uri had a conversation, and this conversation was pretty interesting, I'll be honest. Because not only did it show that, okay, yeah, Mutsuki is psychotic, but she is somewhat stable, which is something that you mentioned a little earlier on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And when you're looking at it, you're like, okay, so she's sane, but obviously when it comes to Kaneki, well, I mean,
to be released, to be more exact, then I'll probably be like, that is a possibility, and probably have a lot of thoughts. But now,
so it's not like anything new's going on there.
Maybe it's still a possibility, but right now I'm more focused on what we recently have, which we discuss that when we get to it. You kind of are, but let me go back to the Muski and the Uri part. It is a scary sign, because the fact that Uri did find out completely that Muski has issues, and somewhat like a tutor. So it felt like he's doing a lot up here at a certain point. Like, I'm assuming it's just gonna happen in this very arc. Like a person that just doesn't care what she would do, which that's why Uri keep telling you gotta care about that, because that will get you in trouble. And of course, everybody
safe.
The funny thing
is that he'll be safe 100%.
But the funny thing is, at least he got to the point he got married. So
that's true.
Yeah, everybody else is always like, I propose because I'm going to die in the next 5 chapters. Bye.
Oh, it doesn't go to that route, but
yeah, they always happen. Well, not always, but most of the time it happens.
Most of the time it happens like that.
It freaking happens because I don't know why. It maybe it's awesome for them.
So right now, Mutsuki and Aura, yeah, I can take Aura. And
Aura has a death flag himself too.
Speaking of Aura, was it 126 or 127? I can't remember at the top of my head, but I remember there was a scene between Aura and his aunt.
That was the same chapter. That's the one you was missing.
Yeah. because you have that moment over there, and I mean, it's still shown that like Aura's still
more understandable. Understanding. She
Yeah.
understands more, but Aura, I guess that's why they emphasize, this guy, he's a very rookie guy, so they gotta treat him nice, because otherwise he would be easily influenced on the wrong way. And what do you know? He's influenced in the wrong direction right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, in a way that did kind of happen because he was under Mutsuki's tutelage, so that didn't help at all either.
No, it did not help at all. But in his defense, I remember a while back, I was like, hey, you can't be this mad. I mean, yeah, your aunt got hurt. That sucks, but it's not that bad. I mean, she's alive. That's good to know, right? And she could recover. She'd probably kick ass again, or that's jazz. Then her legs are missing. I'm like, oh, okay. You got more reason to be mad then.
I mean, like, if she was dead, I think that would solidify the reason a lot more. But
oh yeah, it would have been 100% understandable, even though it's a bad direction, but it's still understandable.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if you were just like, oh, he gave me a boo boo, now I'm pissed off Akanaki, I want his head. That's just like, come on, man, dude. But this one is understandable. But even so, Aura, his aunt still trying to reason him like it's not that much of a big deal, especially she could get a prosthetic legs much similar to Suzuya. So if she could get that, it's like, hey, it's not that much of a big deal. At least she could carry a little bit more weapon in her arsenal.
Exactly.
But Aura is just so hell bent because he's like, oh, when the next time I come back, I'll bring back as a Quinque made by Kaneki or based on Kaneki. And I was like, oh boy,
this is not gonna end well. Like, I was like, okay, if these two have a rematch, like, Kaneki will mop the floor with Aura. I'm just gonna say it right now. He will mop the floor with Aura.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a matter of time. I feel like he could be a potential person that would just take the fall over Muski, which that would still suck. But
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know how exactly in terms of scenario, but I just see the possibility that direction could happen. But time will tell on that.
A lot to think about, actually.
Yeah.
Trying to think, is there anything else we missed about that chapter in particular? Because I feel like Uri
about the resurrection of Haruyu. Because
yeah. That is the thing that got addressed, wasn't it?
Yeah, because now we know, like, technically they do come back. It's just that they under I wouldn't say an oath, but they can't really do normal routines, as they pretty much would be enslaved by Furuta or Kanu. Well, either in this case it would be Furuta, since he is in control now. So they pretty much screwed every single one of them who gets revived.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, like this, it almost doesn't feel like it's alive. It feels like it's still dead to them. I mean, again, everybody retained their mindset, sure, but I don't know. It's like, do you
doesn't guarantee that they're 100% alive, because they still got to go through like some kind of, like, I don't want to say it's like a medication, but some kind of drug that keeps them from going back to death.
Yeah, it seems like they have to take that constantly. Well, I don't know about constantly, but they have to take that. And if they leave, where they're gonna get the medicine? They're gonna die.
Right.
They're gonna go back to that. So you pretty much have no choice but to obey Kanu. And that's like the last thing I ever wanted to do in my freaking life, just to obey that piece of shit. And that sucks, because it's like, oh, I can't kill him. Like, you can't have Uri kill him. Like, yeah, I kill him. We save ourselves. But like, no, you just put an end to every dead people. Now they all go back to their grave.
Like, and your sister will no longer be alive now. It's like,
I was like, great job.
Great.
But yeah, that really sucks. So I'm like, So now it's like, even though it's nice to have hope, again, is it worth it? Especially if they come back and be like, kind of reminds me of Greymon or D Greymon. I'm not sure how you guys pronounce it. It's like, hey, I've technically come back, but I'm gonna be pissed off at you for actually trying to make me come back. So what the hell is wrong with you?
That actually makes sense.
In a way, I kind of had a feeling that could happen. Depends what's the situation, because the sudden time skip really threw me off. So I don't know what position we're in. It's purposely trying to say, like, oh, by the way, I did revive her. It's just, she's just gone crazy. So oops. Like, wait, you did it without my supervision? Yeah. Like, I don't know what's the situation right now because the time skip is it's like not plot device. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like a way for the writer could say like, well, a lot of things has happened during the time skip. For example, she's pregnant, she's alive, that guy just got killed off screen. And there you have it. Enjoy. So yeah, but anyway, back to this thing. Yeah, like so basically they can come back technically, but it's pretty much saying you're gonna be like a slave to them. So I don't know. It's like how much guarantee you're gonna see the same face that Haru always put up. Like she's always like quirky.
Like it could be something entirely different than what you initially thought it was.
Yeah, exactly. Like she was like it kind of like purposely have her. It feels like Ishida purposely have us to see her all like this quirkiness thing she has. But if that's all gone, that's only because this wasn't a good idea. So, but hey, it's up to him. It's up to Furuta even. I don't know what's the position right now with that time skip. I don't know if she's a revive. I don't know what's the, anything about her. Point is, it does answer the question. Like back then, it was like, why Okuhiro is saying, oh, I no hard feelings, but I have to do this, when he was fighting against Corona. I remember when he said that, I was like, why he said that line? But now it makes sense because he's pretty much a slave to Kano because he has the medicine. And that makes perfectly sense. And it sucks. So, yeah, it does. So now we'll see what happens with this situation, but yeah, it's pretty much stressing the hell out of him.
I mean, shit.
Yeah, jeez.
I was gonna bring up like, what do you think that puts the situation of like reviving her? But I feel like we already kind of dissected that.
Well, yeah, it's like I said, that sudden time skip, which we will discuss very, very soon, it kind of makes me think, oh, maybe she was already revived, and this guy doesn't even know she's out there doing bad stuff.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, it's like, again, because it feels like the whole CCG has been doing nothing but chilling outside and keep killing ghouls. So it's like 24/7 working hours for them.
Yep.
Yeah, and judging from a lot of people, they lost their momentum. They lost everything that makes them CCG in the first place. Well, most of them. Suzuya's, well, I don't want to jump to different topics. So we're just gonna go to 127. No, 127.
127, yeah, it's 127.
Yeah.
And that chapter opens up in a coffee shop, and I was just like, wait. Because initially when the chapter opened up, I was like, wait a second. Like, there was a time skip, and I'm like thinking, did they open up a new coffee shop? Like, I was like, hold on, is that smart after what happened with the Reese shop? Is what my mind was initially going to when I was reading the chapter, but then as I kept reading it, I was like, oh, I saw these two characters, and I was like, wait, have we seen them before, or are they new? And I'm like, no, wait, they're new because they don't really look all that familiar, but they're just having like casual conversations about like the day and stuff, and of course, saying like it's kind of getting tough now because of what the CCG are doing. Like almost all the ghouls that are being targeted, it's like there's not like a safe haven anymore for like ghouls like being out on the streets. Because now the CCG's running around and they are essentially causing, I want to say do but I don't know if that's the right word I want to use here.
This pretty much is, if you ask me. I always joke around. Oh, don't worry, guys. These people do not fear people. It's just that one guy just killing that person in a very human way. Oh, cool. It's because ghouls are still human-like. So what difference does it make? Damn it! What freaking difference it makes? Nothing. It's literally the exact same thing. Only I don't know. Maybe one guy resists for a short while and boo-hoo.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help that when Furuta makes the announcement, like, hey, by the way, 88% of the ghouls have been announced. Like, wait, what the fuck? Already? Shit.
Yeah, we're making a great countdown, everybody.
It's like we're almost close to 100%. It's like just clap. It's like no. I'm like, oh, great. Yeah. I'm still like I can still picture like the fan club just thinking, "Go, Master Kichi." I'm like, no. Like, you are not helping at all. If anything, you're just making this entire scenario even worse because you're supporting essentially genocide.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you do realize you're seeing human-like creatures. Like we're not talking about like I don't know, like we're not talking about animals,
or aliens.
We're not talking about hunted animal, like, you know, it's the animals that you hunt for, even though like don't like that, but whatever. It's the law. It's not like we're seeing like a monster from a horror movie. No, we're just seeing a very human like getting killed by another human like that somehow look more monster than that person. So what's the difference? Nothing.
Yeah, it's like, but their goals they get, but they still human. It's not like that. That's the big thing. It's like, okay, the only difference is that they have is like, okay, their eyes change and they have like special abilities. That's it. Like aside from that, they're still human looking. So either one, when you look at it, it's still in a way killing a human being in one way.
Oh.
But
so weird.
What were you saying?
No, I'm saying it's just so weird.
Right?
Yeah. But that's what can you do?
Exactly.
So yeah, they make it into a game because, you know, first person shooter got boring.
That's one analogy you could use. But you've got that whole thing going on, and this is where the chapter gets somewhat interesting because you have a couple of the CCG chasing down this kid who's like trying to run for his life. They have him cornered. Naki steps in, saves the kid's life, and they're able to get away. That's essentially what ends up happening. And also we find out that Tsukiyama and Naki are a team, so well, actually, no, that wasn't just me, because that's something that both me and Sparta did kind of call thinking, like, yeah, but maybe it'll help with those two. Little disappointed that Mies is not there, but that's just a minor nitpick. That's just a minor nitpick on my end. But still, it's cool to see that team actually did happen. I mean, you have also Naki's bros in the back, too, so support. The whole reason why I'm bringing this up is not just the fact of, okay, yeah, like Tsukiyama and Naki are a team. This kid, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I'm looking at this kid. He looks innocent. I'll definitely say that. He looks innocent, but I'm also getting this vibe that he's possibly like a mole, if you will. Like, I can't help but get that feeling. I mean, I might be going crazy, but like, what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, when this chapter came out, a lot of people like to think he's a spy for old guy. He's a spy for CCG, Furita, whatever. And I kind of got that vibe. I'll be honest. I didn't let that just come to my mind and say like, yep, that's the main thought, that I would never like to see him anything else but a spy. It never came that way. It actually started to kind of evolve further in the next chapter, only because the way how it's panelized, but I'll get to that when we get to that. Point is, I can see why now, and it only took from the recent chapter that actually got me mind blown, because if you go back to part 1, there's a kid named Cole who happened to look similar to what we see today. But the problem is this: he's a kid, a human kid, who lost his parents and pretty much is an orphan. And Almond saw that, and he felt reflected to his own past. And Almond stepped ahead and ran away because he wants to fulfill his duty, and he actually want to see justice by taking down the ghouls. So, you know, that's the whole thing. But the real story is he was there. So if that's the case, shit.
If that's the same kid, then okay.
I should remind everybody, Furita was in part 1.
He was.
And I'm not talking about the period one. I'm talking about the college time where Toka mistakenly him as Kaneki, which is kind of seems like a eerie metaphor or eerie symbol in a funny way, because right now is Kaneki versus Furita. It's like, hey, you just witnessed another king. Good for you, Toka, the king of Washu, while we're seeing the king of ghouls.
And I mean, again, like that's the thing, like, because when you see Furita in part 1, it kind of feels like, all right, she just runs into a random character, but then when you look back now, it's like, oh shit, like this was planted, like, way beforehand.
That I still remember to this day when I saw that chapter with the like 3 new characters, and then Furita was the one that was like at the end. I was like, wait a minute. He looks familiar. And then somebody pointed out, he did. Oh my god, I cannot believe he used that character. That's kind of cool. Use that character. And then later on, holy shit, he's crazy. And now we got to this point. So begs the question: if he's a human kid in part 1, why is he a ghoul? Quote and quote in this one.
Something had to happen. I mean, maybe. I mean, it could be. Wait, was he tested as a human, or was that stuff unknown?
Oh, you gotta remember, CCG wouldn't care if they're human or not. I wouldn't care if they're like if he was a ghoul, he would have been exterminated, wouldn't he? Or at least arrested? Wouldn't he be arrested?
Yeah, so something like that.
Yeah, but then again, they did say. But then again, I think if I go back to that video again, or not video, excuse me, the post again, I think they did announce him being a kid that lost his parents as a human. So I'm assuming that is the case. I'm assuming, but it leads to this again. CCG. Even though if they get a kid, that's happened to be a ghoul, they would never release him.
Nope.
That's the thing. They would never release a ghoul because their job is to exterminate ghouls. So that begs the question: if he was always a ghoul, why is he free to roam at that point?
Exactly.
And if he's not a ghoul, how you got 2 Kagagan? How you got both Kakugan? How you got 2 of them? It can't be like the queen style. It can't be like that because they only gives him 1. So what did he do to get 2? Is there some experiment that we don't know of? Or is this something that we know? And then there's another weird thing. I don't know if this is supposed to be very coincidence or a very huge hint, but I believe Ogai did say that the leader left. Apparently, is Cole a part of it? Is Cole is the leader? Because remember, all guys are a bunch of kids.
I didn't think about that.
That's what I'm saying. It's really it's crazy.
That just brings in a new layer. Oh.
And
one blown. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah. And one last thing.
Go on.
All guys are covered. We can't see their eyes. We can't see their face. Who's to say they all have both eyes, both Kagagan?
Wow. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, dude.
So why this chapter didn't tell me that he's a spy? Even though if they would have posted that picture the first time, I would have been like, beyond shocked to the point that I don't understand Ishida anymore.
Right.
It is actually the second chapter, basically the recent chapter, that really startled me in a very bad way. And then that post happened, that didn't help at all. So, I guess we get to that very soon. So continue.
So, besides all that, which... that again, it opened a new door for me to just think about that. Like, oh, well, shit. the percentage of him being a spy just went up from 25% to arguably 65%. That's how big of a jump it happened, just like within an instant.
It could be a red herring. You never know, but yeah,
it could be a red herring too.
So it's all on Ishida right now because, like, again, he kind of did a couple of red herring. It was like, oh, I thought Furuta sucks. He's actually stronger than anyone else in that field.
Dude was a clown when he got introduced in Re, and it's like, oh, wait, shit, never mind.
Yeah.
Get the fact that he's a clown.
And it's crazy when you go back. It's like, oh, it makes sense how his action works. Like the way he reacts, the way how he jokes around, it really matches his character.
It really does.
It's creepy.
But more so with Ko, because you have Tsukiyama just basically explaining about like paradise and peace, if you want, kind of just like, again, stating that it's like the dark times for them with how the CCG is like going in and like taking out all the goals. Because you're having Ko, which you could interpret this as 2 things. It's either him just like being nervous, or him just like inspecting the place, because he makes like these certain eye movements where you're just like, okay, like, so this is what's going on. It could be something like that, or like I said, it could just be him just being nervous and him just like saying, okay, this is like the hideout, and this is probably where I'm going to be. So there's that. But when you have that whole scene taking place, you have essentially a scene where, I don't know if it was one of Naki's brothers, it might have been. You have him saying that the king has returned. And that's when Ko's like, wait, what do you mean the king? And he's like, indeed, our master, the last hope of the dwindling ghouls, which was Kaneki. And this page was actually kind of funny because you have like people just chanting, my king, the name was King, oh, my king, my king. You guys get the point. You have that taking place.
Yes. Apparently, we are now entering the continuation of Death Note. That sounds like a massive spoiler, but yeah.
We're saying that lightly, by the way, guys. But that's there, and you have Ko saying something fell down, and then you just have Kaneki looking. I don't know, because when I saw this page initially, I was like, "What's going on with Kaneki?" Like something about the page just felt weird. I don't know about you, but that was just me.
Well, yeah, I kind of thought the same. I was like, oh, "That's strange. Why are you looking that way?" But maybe he was like, "You know what? I decided to be Batman for this ending cover, so let me just end it that way."
And why can't it look like that?
Yeah, so maybe he's like he fulfilled that dream to look like Batman, and sure he did. And then the next chapter, he even portrayed as Batman with his belief of no killing policy. But we'll get to that soon.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's true. He doesn't always say that. That he doesn't really want to kill them. I mean, sure, he wants to stop them, but it's not like he wants to cause like a massive bloodshed throughout the whole thing.
Not sure why. No,
yeah, because like you've got the whole thing taking place, and then you have Ko just saying to himself like Ken Kaneki, and thus.
Wait, you was just going to the next chapter just now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My bad. I think that transition might have been bad. But...
So wait, we're in 127 discussion right now.
Oh no, we're jumping to
128. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. About the Ko part. Well, first I wanted to first of all, no, actually, I'll say that next one. Let me just get to the Ko part. Now, here's the reason why I started to get more suspicious about Ko. And then this is where I saw the post, and my mind is like completely numb because I could not believe how this is actually happening. But let me get to the Ko. Now, in this chapter, again, he surprisingly got more screen time, even though after that it all goes to other characters. But it's understandable because all the other characters has to give us some hints, give us some progress, give us some development in some way. So with Ko's situation, it ended with him just looking at the king. Here's a strange thing. I don't know. You could correct me, and I can't be wrong because I don't remember too vividly. But I understand his friends like Tsukiyama, Nishiki, Toka, the rest of the Oateku characters. I can understand they know Kaneki. I don't know if anybody else know Kaneki, like his name. They only refer him or know him as One-Eyed King. Yeah. Right. That said, why Ko knows the name?
That's true. Because initially when I was reading it, I was like, all right, he just says Ken Kaneki. But then when you're bringing it up like that, it's like, well, how does he know? I mean, again, if he was around in part 1, then the thing is, if this is the same character from part 1, then clearly something happened in between part 1 and part 2. Something had to have happened for him to like get to this point. But I do kind of agree with what you have to say, because if that's the case, then that is again further hinting that Ko is indeed a spy, rather than him just being like a ghoul that was just like running from his life. Because it feels kind of very coincidental that this whole thing happened, and like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Ko doesn't have like a sense of fear going on. Like ever since he showed up, like I haven't seen him like make any like scared remarks or anything. Like he's been surprisingly not calm, just
he pretty much it made it seem like death is like is always the thing that he always sees, so it's like another Tuesday, I guess.
Yeah, like that.
Like that kind of saying, like it's just another Tuesday, meaning like it doesn't faze him because it's been like that. He's so numb to it that the thought of it, anything of it. I know what you're saying, and in a way that is somewhat true. I mean, it could have topped it off if it just have a poor acting skill. Oh no, I'm about to die. Help me. That would have topped it off like, yep, he's a spy. Don't help him. But yeah, that's true. And going back to Kaneki part again, it has to be either people that knows him from part 1 or like anybody in Ateku. because even if he was going to CCG, it was classified. His name was classified. So therefore, if he were to say Sasaki, then we would know he's a spy automatically, which is ironic because we know he's a spy by knowing the real name. Yet that would actually spell that would actually spell more trouble than actually him saying the name Sasaki. The reason why I say that is because it's like, if he knows him by Sasaki, then it's like, okay, I guess CCG is the one that sent him there or something like that. Or CCG offering that job, and he probably would take the one of the experiment, and it's like, okay, I'm going to go with the Queen's experiment, this whole old guy experiment, and I would just do that. And we probably would just think like CCG, which is the one that does that part. But if he knows Kaneki name, then it not only probably went through the whole experiment as an old guy and all that stuff, but the fact that if he knows that name, that means he's like one of those higher level guys that's pretty much certify him to get those information more discreet, I guess, like more in depth of this information. You know what they say, like, oh, I'm the president, that means I can finally know what happens to JFK for real this time. It's like kind of those things. Like you the more higher rank you are, the more you see the classified files.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like I could totally see that happening too. Though, and this is something that just came up to my head just like right now at the top of my head. Who do you think sent Ko? Because if he is indeed a spy, I highly doubt this is something he came up with. He came up with this like at the top of his head. If it was, then okay, I'll give him credit where credit is due. But who do you think sent it? Now we do know that the Ogai squad is run by Mutsuki in a sense, because Mutsuki was kind of like supervising them and everything. So if Ko is a part of that division, then Mutsuki, I think, probably sent him on that mission. It's like, okay, we're gonna set this whole thing up. You're going to infiltrate. You're going to see how things are going. And then somehow report back to us. Like, that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. It might be Mutsuki. Again, that's assuming if he's a spy. If he's not, then, well, so much for that theory.
But yeah, but it's a hell of a theory right now. And in fact, what you just said right now is brand new to me. And that's one hell of a crazy thought that could be true. Because when it comes to who's sending him, I was thinking two people, but that one was really pretty up there, actually.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense because, again, right before the sudden time skip that we don't know how many years or maybe just months. It's most likely just months. But we don't know how many months has passed. But we do know that Muski joined with Ogai, with this whole tutoring thing or whatever. He's basically the mentor. He's basically like the sensei to them.
Yeah, and that was shown like throughout, what was it, like 123 and 124?
It was 120. What do you mean? Like when she said that she was gonna be the teacher to them or something like that?
Yeah.
It was in 126. The when he was discussing with Uri.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like she participated because she wanted to take advantage the idea that she could get closer to Kaneki and always keep on track. Now, sending a spy will actually allow her to keep in track with Kaneki.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's possible. I guess. No, actually.
What are you thinking?
The only thing that could I would say defend it. The only thing that could deny it in a way is maybe because he used the name Kaneki, unless Muski now knows the real name of Sasaki as Kaneki, then you know what I'm saying? Like if he was a spy for Muski, he would go by the name Sasaki.
Yeah.
But then again, if it's possible.
Knows, then
yeah. Well, you gotta remember. Yeah, I mean, after all, I think that what's his name? The Cole. I think Cole would still know the name Sasaki is Kaneki because he was working under Furuta, which Furuta did put a display of killing Kaneki, which he did pronounce the name of Kaneki in front of the world. So it's like, okay, that's his name. That's who he is. So if you ever heard the name Sasaki, you should know the real deal. So therefore, they actually reinforce again that he is a spy in a strange sense. Because no one else should know that he's Kaneki except for CCG, especially the fact they got him in the first place and then rename him and alter his life.
Basically.
Yeah. So going back to Muski, there is a good chance that probably I would say that's the highest chance, if I even say, because it makes sense that after all that talk she said, she wanted to get closer to Kaneki and she wanted all to herself. That would make sense. And yeah, we don't know how that's gonna go further down there. But the only thing I could say is I hope there's no chapters for a moment to see Cole meeting Toka. That's the last thing I need to have right now.
Which right now, I mean, given where things are going, that does seem kind of likely on happening. I mean, I don't want to say for certain it'll happen, but the possibilities are there. Like I can say that for sure. And I mean, when you're looking at the whole scene that's going on where people are chanting to Kaneki about like my king, again, like Code seems very unfazed by what's going on right now. Like he's just like observing Kaneki and that's it.
Exactly. That's another thing. It's not like, wow, he is magnificent, I should praise him too, or like he's so blown away by his sheer presence. It's not like that. It's just like, so that's him. Cool. I should tell Muski about this. But first, let me just chill around and let's see what I can get. Maybe I could find more info. Maybe she wants me to find this person named Toka, see what's going on with her. And I guess I'm going to save this one tiny info part later, since we're going to get to that part very soon. But yeah, it's this idea with Cole being a spy is really catching on, and I can't blame them anymore. I'm starting to really think that is the true case. He's a spy. The only question is who sent him.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about too. Actually, what I'm also curious about is like the outfits, because I'm trying to see if like his outfit matches that like of the Ogai squad, because that right now,
like all black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I'm looking at that right now. I'm like, wait, hold on. His outfit, like most of his outfit is like retaining like a lot of like black colors to it. So I mean, that could just be a weird coincidence right there. But could that still be hinting at the fact that maybe he's with Ogai too?
That's possible. I mean, it could be a coincidence, but maybe that's like a sign of saying, maybe that is meant to be a sign, but like, hey guys, just let you know this whole guy. Look at the coloring. Can you not tell? I'm trying to give you the hints, just like the chapter covers. If you don't get the hint, don't be surprised.
Like, just look at that, guys. That's all you have to do.
Remember me? I am the spooky man. Woo! Well, I didn't do that, but yeah, you get my point.
Let's see.
Oh, here it is.
It's close. I'll definitely say that. It's definitely close. I mean, the outfits aren't exactly alike, but it's got some similar features to it. Just a little bit. I think that's it. Yeah, so when it comes, like, going past that scene, you have Shu just chilling like near one, like, they're in the hideout, obviously, and he's basically saying that at this rate they'll all starve to death. The surface is so tightly controlled by the CCG that we can't even get the food we need, and apparently they're fixing to start digging down here. They, the CCG, must be stopped before we're interned in these tombs we call home. Stopped. They need to be killed. And of course, this is something we mentioned a little while back, but this is basically a scene where Shu's trying to tell Kaneki, look, we've tried this approach, but we have to kill them now. Because we, as a species, are being decimated. We can't have this thing that you're trying to do, because look at the situation we're in right now. If you look at that, then yeah, they're not going to pity us. They're just going to kill us. And we have to take action. We have to kill them. So I get Kaneki's ideology, and I mean, I don't know, I kind of have to agree with Shu on some things, because when you look at the situation, it's rough. It's really rough when you're seeing how things are going for like both the ghouls and for the CCG. But again, more so with Kaneki, because not only is he somebody who's experienced stuff with the ghouls, but he's also experienced stuff with the CCG too. So in a way, like the psychological aspects are like off the roof when it comes to that.
Well, you know, I always question myself if he should have planning to challenge Kaneki on the whole no killing policy routine. Like would there be a moment to say like, well, that happened because I just couldn't do it. He pushed me to the limit. What series did that? A lot of series does. But the point is like, is Ishida planning to do something like that? Because
it's possible.
He hasn't really killed a human, and you can't really say what's his name, Arima, consider one, because you gotta remember it was he took him his own life.
Yeah.
So that doesn't count.
So that wasn't even Kaneki's kill, technically speaking.
Right. So that doesn't really count. Therefore, what can we say can we really say that Kaneki would never kill a human? Can we really be that confident that he would never harm a soul? Well, okay, he could harm a soul, but can he take away that soul? That remains to be seen. It's possible that could still happen. It's like one of the podcasts we discussed. Maybe Kaneki would accidentally kill Muski at some point. Now, going back to Aura, the aunt, she lost her legs. And say if it's truly Kaneki's fault. Not like, oh, my bad, that was the Zero Squad that did that to you. I'm really sorry, you know? If it's really Kaneki, is that like a sort of hint to say, okay, he's getting close to killing a person? That part is evident. So, like again, it's not like Kaneki's fighting weaklings anymore. He's fighting all these really strong investigators, ghouls, all the other types. He's not fighting weaklings. He's not fighting scrubs anymore. He's fighting these really dangerous foes. So question is there going to be a moment that he will end up killing them?
I want to say there could be. I guess if we're going by percentage here, I want to say at this point in time of the recording of this podcast, 25 to maybe 30%. That Ishida's probably going to challenge Kaneki's ideology when it comes to that particular topic alone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, the only other thing I could see about like Kaneki not harming a soul, and we mentioned this before, it all goes back to Hide, because Hide is still MIA at the moment. We don't know any details on what happened to Hide.
Right. Well, that is true, but that is a sacrifice more than taken away. As in, like, I have to do it for self-defense, or I have to do it because I hate you. You know what I mean?
True.
This one's more like I have to do this because you're paying the sacrifice. So that's kind of like a permission in a weird sense, but it's just how it is. But yeah, I see that as a permissions wise, while Kingdom is more like either self-defense or you did it because you're just evil. So different story in that sense.
True. Actually, yeah. Okay, that makes sense, because I thought because I know that's the debate people were talking about. I'm like, well, I mean, that's one way you can look at it, but when you explain it like that, yeah, that makes complete sense too. I mean, let's see, because while that whole conversation's going down with Kaneki and Tsukiyama actually brings up a pretty good point, because he even asks Kaneki like since when have you been so concerned with the future of the ghoul? And then Kaneki he's a little silent at first, but then he remembers the ring that Toka gave him, and he just says Toka. Which, funny enough, we cut to Toka. And by this point, it's actually kind of interesting, because Toka's there, she's looking over at the kids, and what it looks like, Nishiki is giving her food. And I know it's like, oh, she was probably just hungry. Keep in mind what Kaneki and Toka did back in chapter 125, okay? We don't know how much time has passed, okay? So, could this be a phase of pregnancy? Could it be that? And I want to say it's possible. It's definitely possible that it could be that. And interesting thing, and I don't know if I actually want to know all the details specifically, but we don't actually know like what ghouls have to go through as far as like reproduction goes. As far as like that process, and I'm not saying I want to know about that, but it's funny how stuff like that hasn't really gotten mentioned in the series. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
About like if Toka is pregnant or something like that?
Yeah, because I know that's like a topic that's been going around for a while after.
Yeah. Again, it's really hard to say, because the fact that we have the sudden time skip that we don't even know how many months, days. It's not years. Otherwise, we would have said a child.
Yeah, obviously. That would be the biggest indication.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe it's not further than 3 months, 4 months, because, okay, if we go by how everybody likes to say that what she requested is a pregnancy test, she should have known her pregnancy is legit if it's like around, I don't know, first 2 months, I guess, tops.
Yeah.
Even then, that sounds generous. But point is, if it's like 3 months, it just doesn't seem. Well, if it's like 6 months, it kind of seems really odd to even ask for a pregnancy test. So another option people think is a sense of birth control, or at least an RC suppressor.
I could see that.
Yeah, just for the sake to the child to actually go through and live through that. Now, if it's RC suppressor, that would mean she's always gonna keep weakening herself, and it makes sense if she's not only pregnant, but she's gonna keep weakening herself in order for the baby to actually happen.
Right.
That all said, if Cole is a spy for Muski, that would be the worst thing to ever occur because it would help Muski to be 100% confident that she can take her on because she injected herself with RC suppressor for the sake of a child.
Exactly.
And that would leave her incredibly vulnerable, incredibly weak. Because we already saw their fight, and we already know Toka can kick her ass. 100%. I don't know why I stuttered there. But the point is, we know she could beat the shit out of her. We know that.
We do.
But now the story is different because if he's a spy for Muski, or hell, just have Muski know about it somehow, that's dangerous right there. That's pretty much school days ending all over again. I don't want that.
When you bring it up like that, yeah, it is.
Yeah, this. Oh my God, this is seinen, guys. That could still that can happen.
This is a seinen manga. It's not a shonen because I know a lot of people get the confusion going on still.
Yeah, it's like, shonen. You could kind of do that, but you won't do it a specific style. So you probably just say like it happened because reasons. But seinen is like it happened because, well, I used my beautiful knife. I cut that stomach of hers, and then I find that little fetus. I just laugh at it, hug it, kiss it, kill it. That's all fun.
Yeah, it's like people are like, oh, but this scene has happened before. It's like, no, if you see what Tokyo Ghoul has done, they will take whatever scene you've seen when it comes to like birth process and like tragedies. Tokyo Ghoul will just take it a step further and be like, what did you do? Because I'm pretty sure we topped you guys. Which, if that happens, then
exactly.
I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless.
So yeah, that's I don't really know what's the real answer. Maybe it is a RC suppressor, depending on the time scale. Maybe if the time scale is not too far away, and maybe she is asking for a pregnancy test. But then again, the way how Nishiki says it, it made it seem like he doesn't really understand it. He probably understand it more easier if it was a pregnancy test, right? So it's kind of hard to say, but it definitely feels like it has to do with a child
in some way.
Yeah, but again, it's scary to think if Cole's
a spy and he comes to know of that. Then
yeah, it's also scarier when we know what happened at the end of the chapter. Well, not at the end, but more like towards the end of the chapter. Because again, she's strong, but if she's trying to raise a child, and the way she's doing it is pretty much weakening her, then she's incredibly easy to take out then.
Exactly, yeah. And it doesn't help that that 121 color page is I know that's something people are still kind of going back towards, but and I can understand the reasoning why is because that cover page had like a splash of red over a certain portion of the page. And if that's what a lot of people are thinking, that's where this whole thing's gonna happen with the fall of Toka's child, then damn, Ishida. That's all I gotta say. Damn.
Yeah, but I can't let that bypass because Ishida is crazy like that.
Right?
I'm like, you seem like you seem so caring to your characters, and he most likely does, but it doesn't mean you're safe from getting the worst treatment ever in any possible way. It's like, I like this character, but he has to lose a hand and a finger from the other hand, and and both of his legs, and his tongue, and his manhood. Yeah, I have to do that. But I still love the character. You can see me in my Twitter. I support him all the way. Yeah.
It's like tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. It's like Ishida, come on. Happiness. Something, please.
It's still happiness. They're alive. That's happiness enough for you.
I'm just saying, if we get Tokyo Ghoul ending again for Ri, then I don't even know what to say anymore.
All hope is lost.
All hope is lost. Ko becomes the new king. No, I'm joking about that. I'm joking about that.
So yeah, that remains a mystery. I don't know if she's really pregnant. I don't even know if it has to do with child support thing, but I still think that is cool. That is the route that they're going for. Maybe. I'm just scared that whatever happens, like, oh, CCG found the location, then God help her, because she will actually become an easy target.
For sure.
Oof.
Scary to think about right now.
Yeah, it's too scary, actually.
Right? So the conversation itself, like, it goes, like, you have Nishiki and Toga talking, and just like about the whole situation. Kind of what's been going on, like, since last chapter was like ghouls being annihilated, and like basically that their chance of survival is getting kind of slim, and finding hiding spots are getting kind of slim too, because, like, again, CCG is everywhere, and that's something even Toka brings up too. But it's funny because when this whole scene's going down, like, one of the kids asks, like, "So where's Mr. Handsome?" And that's referring to Ayato. And I'm not sure if it's Nishiki or if it's Toka, but one of them says, like, he's still down below, way down below, like the deepest parts of the 24th ward and the one-eyed ghoul. And this is where things get kind of interesting, because I believe this got referenced in the original Tokyo Ghoul. I might be wrong about this. I might be wrong, but the one-eyed ghoul has always kind of been a thing, like, obviously since the first chapter with since Kaneki became the one-eyed ghoul. But as far as like the one-eyed ghoul origins go, like the originator, if you will, Toka pretty much brings up a backstory about how there was a ghoul that was kind of around the time, like, that when the kids, like, grandparents and grandmas are so little, and he was essentially like a hero that brought down, like, the CCG, and he even, like, led, like, an above ground ghouls against the investigators and killed, like, a lot of investigators, if you will. And when she brings that up, it's just kind of like thinking, well, okay, so the whole talk about the one-eyed ghoul was fascinating. I know I'm paraphrasing it, but that whole discussion regarding the one-eyed ghoul, while I was reading through it, I was kind of just thinking, well, okay. Initially, I thought it was Yoshimura. That's what I had initially thought, but then I was like, wait a minute, nah. She's probably talking about somebody else. And that opened up a lot of doors, but it opened up a door for me where I was like, I'm kind of curious as to what this guy actually did. Like, how did he raise himself to power? And I mean, it kind of got explained, but who was the one-eyed ghoul? I think is what I'm trying to get at. Who was the one-eyed ghoul? Like the first one-eyed ghoul, if you will.
I think it's probably a brand new character. But yeah, it's actually interesting they're going to this route because, like you said, it was mentioned in the first one, and the idea of this whole one-eyed king has always been around for a while. So it's like a title that's just been passing around. But it was interesting. It does make sense on why you could say they got why you could say that the V organization is even formed to wonder if there's a one-eyed king out there, or like, kind of like really highly focused on the one-eyed king, because perhaps this reflects on that memory of when they have to deal with them, especially when they say that CCG was almost just so close to the extinction. And then they have the so-called like special guards that just happen to wipe everyone out except for the one-eyed guy, the originator. But that would mean oh, it was V organization that saved the CCG. And not only that, but I guess they're like, when they hear the term one-eyed king, it's like, oh, hell no, not again. Where is the same guy? That's impossible. We know we killed him. Who's trying to act like him? So that actually does make sense, and that's actually pretty neat that we're actually expanding. Now, of course, whatever happened by the end of the chapter remains a mystery for another time.
Right. He is a new character. Who he is, though, is something we are going to have to see, because so far from what we've seen from Ishida, he hasn't dropped any particular plot points, if you will. Like, he may leave it out for a while, but he does manage to bring it back in. Similarly to what happened now, because the whole thing with Toka and Nishiki comes to an end with Toka telling the kids that she's going to read them the story. And the scene basically starts out, the next scene, starts out with, thanks to the measures enacted by Bureau Chief Kichimoto, the ghouls are in dire straits. Or actually, no. No, this is with Susie. I'm I'm messing up, guys. I apologize. But this, similar to the whole Udi situation with Suzuya, because he brings up the fact that, like, if we can just annihilate the ghouls, we will finally, after 100-odd years, be able to close the door on our ancient battle with the ghoul. And you have, I don't know, what's this? It's a washi, but I'm messing up on the name. But is that so? My master said that this fight wouldn't end, at least not in our lifetimes. What's important about the scene right here with Susie is the fact that he's thinking about Shinohara a lot. Because if you guys don't remember, Shinohara became, oh yeah, obviously he became a vegetable, but by who? Who was the character that turned him into a vegetable? It was Eto. Eto was the character that turned him into what he is. And it's kind of in a way, and I hate saying this, but in a way, it kind of helped develop Susie's character a lot. Like, as cruel as it sounds, like, yeah, like, oh, I was like, Shinohara needed to become a vegetable for Susie to reach this point. But when you think about it, it actually works. Because when you see Susie and how he is in part 1, and you really reflect that off of how he is in part 2, like, it's crazy. It's crazy to see how it is, because, remember, he was, in a sense, kind of like a psychopath in part 1. Like, a psychopath, but also very funny. Here he can be funny, but he's starting to think a lot more now. And when you see, like, that much of a change in a character, especially like when you're going from pre-time skip to time skip, like, that is, wow. I gotta commend Ishida for that. I really do.
That's a really good point. All of those, actually. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I remember people was used to, well, actually not used to, they still are, to grow impatient at many times. And I understand, because there are some points that you wanted to see explore, you wanted to see what is that story, the backstory behind it, what motivate that character or anything like that. And I understand that. Though, you know, it's not like we're never going to get it. It just have to get it at a later time. That's all it is to it. So when it's like brought up, it's like, it sounds like such a great moment, because you're like, hey, I'm about to learn something cool. I'm about to learn the one that I've been dying to hear more about. So that's actually pretty cool to hear about the whole one-eyed ghoul scenario. But yeah, when it comes to like, oh, what about that backstory that sounds like you're either neglecting or you just completely forgot about it in general. But when it comes when those moments actually occur, like, oh, I remember that backstory, or oh, I remember that development, I remember this and that, it does feel rewarding. And that's what makes it great for all of us, especially like people who likes the theory on who's the traitor, who's this, who's the spy, blah blah blah. It does feel excited to get something right, or to get nearly right. But hey, it's like it's engaging in this very hidden way. Just because you put yourself in a somewhat a waiting line, or something like a make you rewarding, like a hey, it pays off or whatever. So yeah, like I know people are like really wanting to know so much information all on one spot, even though it's something like that would be too hard and it could get dull if you don't branch out. So
like too much comprehension, if you will.
Yeah, it's just exactly, too much comprehension. You know, there's a manga series that just got canceled just recently. So you don't want that to happen. I'm not saying Tokyo Ghoul will ever get canceled. Not at this point. It just can't. But my point is, you don't want it to drift your audience away just because, you know, this is the moment that you wanted to have, but it seems like it's not calling for it. It makes sense here now because they're in a bad situation. Everyone is at their end point. The irony is, like, we have less suicide rate in the series. I mean, the humans has less suicide rate, and that's great. Problem is, they have no nourishment, no food. So It sucks for the ghouls, the friends like Toka, Nishiki, and others. So damn, it sounds very eerily cruel.
Like, why?
Why? Start killing yourself. Look, the series you love, it's never gonna resume.
It's like, please, we need food. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm glad there's those suicides, but ghouls, they need food. It's like
exactly.
It's like a 50-50 thing.
It's a very cruel irony. Oh, damn it.
Right.
But you know, when it comes to Suzuya purpose has always been about Shinohara, because he did change him a lot. Definitely. He changed him drastically. No argue there. And the thing is crazy is that the fact that he always been working at CCG for the longest time without him now is only because it's like he's fighting with him still, just like mentally in this case. So that's why he's kept alive, even though I don't like this argument, but if you were to ask me like what's the situation, and then if I learn about what he's going through, I would just say, say goodbye. Like,
I mean, that's rough, but it's the truth.
It's extremely hard. And I try not to bring it too deep, too much. What's that word I'm looking for? Like, I'm not trying to bring it too much close to home in a metaphorically sense, because it's a dark topic. But point is, Shinohara should have been dead right now. If anything, you only make it look terrible because you're keeping him alive, that he cannot even do anything. So it sucks, but point is, it is done for Suzuya's sake in a sense. And the way how they describe Shinohara, it sounds like he's in he's practically in the state that there's no return for him, there's no coming back, there's no way to
comatose right now.
Yeah, it's like an eternal comatose. And if you're thinking like if you're thinking spiritually about of a person, like, oh, their spirits are not at peace, then it just makes it worse on your end, because you just get that feeling, oh my god, this person is always suffering, he's never really getting the real sleep, the real anything. So you're just pretty much kind of suffering in some form of way. But for Suzuya's sake, in this case, it's all about what Shinohara has taught him, and he has taught him a lot about being an investigator, taking out the ghouls, their enemies, and whatnot. But now there's no more ghouls. It's like the motivation is dying from Suzuya. There's no drive. There's nothing that makes him, so I wouldn't say happy that he's been killing, but makes him motivated to do the work that he has been doing for the past year, I guess, more than that.
I think,
depends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a subtle way of saying, hey, we should keep the ghouls alive because it gave me a purpose. So I kind of wanted to remain that purpose. You know how there's like a lot of series is like, oh, I got my dream, what do I do now? It's like, yeah, it's kind of hard to make a new one. So in a way, you could kind of argue that this is the exact same thing. But it's not like he's achieving that dream yet. He's near it, but it feels like maybe it should not be that way.
No, it shouldn't. I mean, I think this also kind of brings up an interesting question, but where do you think this sets Suzuya as a character right now? Like, as far as what he's going to do from this point forward.
Suzuya, you said, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if they win the war, I think Suzuya would drop everything and just become the old days Suzuya, just mentally unstable or just crazy, even though he acknowledged it. Right. I don't know. I feel like he would go back to that day, which is sad because he pretty much has a family, with Humby, the other guys, he pretty much have his family and they care for him. It sucks because it should be a good thing that the whole ghouls are being extinct and there's no more ghouls, that they could have peace, or so their vision say. But Suzuya has really kept boundary with the whole Shinohara. So if you got the mission done, you got your dream come true, what next? What can you do next? I don't know, become a villain, because maybe your old characteristic was like kind of villainish. You could go back to that. You could replace the idea of ghouls, because ghouls are always enemies, so they're never friendly in a point of view of a human, of course.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, so pretty much it kind of has the eerie feeling like if they're done with war, Suzuya would just pretty much abandon CCG and his squad just to be the villain, because what reason does he have left anyway? Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I don't know. It kind of scary. I can't say he has a death flag, but he has a flag of something big change is going to happen with him.
Yeah, I mean, does this kind of nullify our little theory that he might team up with Kaneki? Because I'm starting to think that it's still possible, but I feel like my percentage rate on that has kind of like dropped a little bit from like, if it was say at like a 70%, I will say it dropped to like maybe 50%. Because it's like you said, like after everything's said and done, if everything goes the way he's expecting it, he's gonna probably go back to how things were initially. And
right, there you go.
Yeah.
But you were saying something though?
Oh no, I was saying like about like Suzuya's chance of like leaving the CCG and like teaming up with Kaneki, like if your percentage on that has like changed or not.
So far we have seen a lot of characters that's going through difficult difficulties. Uri, Suzuya now. I'm not sure what next chapter would focus on, besides the one-eyed ghoul, the originator one.
Right.
But yeah, that's what it seems like it's going. It's showing us the character that has been developed a lot, and see what's kind of struggle they're going, and probably give us a hint where they're gonna go next. Maybe they will go to Kaneki, the goat. I don't know. Maybe it could be completely different. Maybe they just keep on hiding elsewhere. It's hard to say.
It all depends.
All depends. It really all depends on the action.
Right.
Furuta, that is.
Always Furuta. Always
Yes.
Furuta.
Always Furuta. So, yeah, that too. So I guess this segues to the very interesting moment that I guess I was coming at.
This. Okay. So after this moment, like after the whole stuff with Suzuya, we see a certain organization, and when I saw this, I was like, whoa. Hold on. Wait, what? And let me just build this up real quick. Understand, Itori, my information network is not to be underestimated. And within the panel, we see Uta. Goat is underground, the 24th ward. Yep. My stupid little sister told me, bark. bark.
bark.
Next
Well, you know, I think we all know what she truly is, but
right.
Yeah.
Next time you do that, it's out on the street with you. The three, and I'm gonna butcher this. Is it Belly Ghouls? I don't know.
Wait, which lady is what we're trying to say?
It's Beleaguered.
Yeah, I don't know how you say that. I probably had to start studying again to get it right.
But yeah, basically Uta said might well just die out at this rate. And then we see a certain character. And it's funny because you and I mentioned this a couple podcasts back. I think maybe even like since the first podcast we did. I'm not even exactly sure, but bearing witness to the moment of their destruction, wouldn't that be just divine? And okay, the chick who hung around during the second half of the original Tokyo Ghoul, she came back, and wow, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I mean, I was speechless. I'll say that because you and I talked about that. We were thinking like, when is she gonna show up?
I did.
She finally came back.
Yay! Oh, sort of.
I was like, it's cool seeing her, but I'm kind of scared at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. What was your reaction when you saw that?
Hard to recapture now that I think about it. Kind of makes me wish I have a live recording of moments. Yeah, it's like I guess it kind of felt to the moment of like, oh, I think I would never get this moment ever because it just sounds so superstitious. That's how I got that moment. So like, damn, I gotta stop jinxing. Yeah, I got not much to say, but whoopsie daisy.
That happened.
But actually, the funny thing is, I thought like maybe Ko is a spy, but maybe he's a spy for Period. Oh
my god.
They do know him as Kaneki.
That okay.
Maybe he's like, hey, you want to have some torture? I found out that Kaneki impregnated this woman named Toka. So I don't know. We could do something about that. We could find a way to have like a collision happen, and make Kaneki suffer because he think he's the fault for not protecting Toka. I'm like, wait, it'll be fun.
Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, so it's still a mystery. Even in this chapter, we don't even know what the hell they want.
No, we don't. That's the funny thing. So I know a lot of people were saying like, oh my god, the end is near. Like we're getting periodic. And I'm like, look, just because we saw them again does not exactly solidify that we're reaching the end of the overall story, because these cats could probably just show up now and then disappear for like another 128 chapters or so. That's possible at this point. Because let's be fair, we haven't seen. Is it Itori? Is that how you see her name?
Who?
The girl?
The bar girl?
The bar girl, yeah. I mean, I might be getting her name wrong.
Itori? I think it's.
I think, yeah, okay. Because That's something people need to remember. The last time she showed up was at the end of the original Tokyo Ghoul, and it took up until now to get her again. So keep that in mind. That's all I'm gonna say. So like, that doesn't guarantee. Yeah, we're nearing the end of the overall series. Maybe.
You still think Reed's going to end, right?
It's. I mean, that's what I was gonna get to next, but we'll save that like after we get done with the overall chapter because we're getting there, but we have Itori saying, "We'll watch the whole thing from the best seats in the house. Watch as the curtains fall." Get Uta saying true, and Nico saying, "Was there ever a time in the past when Ghoulkind was backed so far into a corner? I wonder." And then this guy shows up, Furata, lovely. Of all the characters that show up, it had to be this guy.
Ta-da!
Of course.
The one and only. The one and only.
Right?
God.
Yeah, like he's there. He's like, you certainly are a skilled one, Bureau Chief. And he's like, oh, please, stop the flattery. Watchers have just been staying their hands for a long time and all. I will bring an end to their useless, pointless squabbles here and now. Tell me, what does one need for a checkmate? An arch enemy? Something to make those airheaded pacifist fools piss themselves to death over? Mercilessness? A last boss friends? For Kaneki and the others, you mean, is what Uta says now. And he's kind of thinking, like, you really do like your games, don't you? And then he says, or for yourself, CCG. Thus you have Furuta saying, like, this something happens to be an ally of mine. I will bring out the strongest of enemies, an enemy capable of one punching the likes of Eto Yoshimura and Kishio Arima. And then, in a way, he's kind of saying, I'm forming together the strongest group. And when I saw these three, I was just like, oh. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no, because I see this. And when I'm thinking back to the start of Re, and I'm thinking where everything's lead up to, here's my analogy. It's the rise and the fall of the QS squad, because you have Psycho, you have Uri, and you have Mutsuki. And they have Furuta saying, let's call it Dragon. Now, granted, the three panels that are there could be just weird coincidence. It could just be a weird coincidence, but is she even coincidences? Come on. Like, there is no way you can tell me that that's not the team. It obviously is. But I think, looking at this, I think this is where the big rift is going to cause. Well, for certain people. Like, Psycho, I can certainly see her, like, struggling with the idea of, like, trying to bring down Kaneki. Uri is kind of like 50-50. I'm not entirely sure. That Mutsuki, I think her answer is pretty damn obvious. I think that's like night and day when it comes to what Mutsuki wants to do. So obviously she's going to go after him. But yeah. Sparta, what are your thoughts on that?
About what exactly? Because trying to make sure if I ever get the right idea. So, but like, yeah. What do you mean, like, exactly?
Oh, like the whole thing with Furuta and his new team as what he's formulating, because you got Psycho, you have Uri, and you have Mutsuki. And what I'm trying to bring up is, do you think this is gonna like cause a rift?
Well, here's the thing. I know he's trying to form a team, but like, is he trying to form a one new member? I'm trying to figure that out the way you're saying it to me right now, because like, we got this code name Dragon, right?
Right.
So like, is he saying as a group, or is he saying this one character that we're about to see?
Huh. I didn't think of it like that, but
because I'm trying to see how he worded out. So I wish it was like a direct. Well, okay. First I need to find out, like, he's saying that he's trying to bring an arch enemy for the CCG or for the ghouls to handle. Like, how he's
for the CCG to handle.
For CCG to handle.
Mm-hmm. Or CCG to. I think it's for. Okay, for the CCG. Huh.
I gotta try to read this carefully.
I'm stuck. I gotta think. My best bet would probably be like have this team like go up against the ghouls, That's what I'm interpreting.
So they're saying the CCG. So he's saying he's trying to bring out the enemy for CCG.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's two things. If that's the case, if he's trying to make an enemy for CCG, right?
Right.
This is the strange part. Okay. What you're saying is we got the Q squad. We have there's a great reason why they're shown there. The only question is, what exactly is he going to make one of them into dragon? Right now, so. That's a possibility as well. But the thing is, either is that supposed to be a Fuju thing, or is supposed to be like an actual? Yes, this is one of the candidates, but I'm going to choose one of them. Now, the scary part is, if he is going to choose one of them, it could be either the two right now. Psycho could be the surprise part, like, holy crap, I can't believe he went for her. But yeah. I don't see that happening. But again, that could be like the dark horse of the choices.
It could be.
It could be. Uri has a chance. I don't know if he wants to make it happen. Furuta, especially, they're not really clicking. But then again, but then again, it could be possible for Furuta to say like, we could get rid of him if he's not gonna like listen to me. So this should be good too.
Yeah, kind of like tie his hands behind his back.
Right, exactly. So that's a possibility. Muski has the highest chance.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because a couple of things. The fact that Furuta did invite her to be part of the old guy thing. So it's like, hey, let's try to build her up. It's possible that since Furuta knows the period, and he probably knows what Uta's just done to her recently. So he's like, oh, she's just driven insane. I could make that even better. I could push that further. I'm gonna make her join the old guy. See how upset she will get, to the point that she'd probably be a ghoul herself. I mean, if you remember the RC cell talk with the scientists, I mean, Uri already break his frame, so it's a good chance he's already a ghoul, technically speaking. But Buski was hitting like a question mark. But I think we all could guess that she's already a ghoul herself as well. So if that's the case, maybe now the fact that she's closer to the old guy training thing, they probably would just start. Furuta would probably just start, push her to the point that maybe she would like do a lot of crazy thing, breaking the frames, go to her version of Kaguya, and then just let her be out there, and then let the CCG just take her out. And then Uri probably won't even recognize that he would probably take her out. And this could challenge him with that talk back in the last arc. Well, actually not last arc, back in 2-3 arcs ago, where he was fighting Almon, and he doesn't want to take any chances, like be friendly, like give mercy. But it's like, there'll be the time we will be fighting a friend, be somebody our close one. Now people are suggesting that's going to refer to Kaneki, but what if it's actually referring to Muski instead?
That is actually when you're putting it like that, I think that's got a pretty high chance of like happening actually, because of like you said, like with how far Mutsuki can go, and we've seen that. We've seen how far Mutsuki would go as far as like her insanity, and her having the highest chance of being the candidate. I think, like you said, it's gonna cause not only a rift, but it'll also put Uri in a situation where he sees it and he kind of reflects back on what happened with the fight against Dalmon. And when you put it like that, it's wow. Like, I don't know what to say. I really don't.
There's a good chance with that. But now I know a lot of people has been talking about like who's gonna be Dragon. Like it could be either those three, or it could be someone else entirely, like a new character. Right. And it's supposed to be like very powerful. It's supposed to be, able to do one punch, which is obviously a reference to One Punch Man. But I don't think that's the real case. But the point is, it has to be a really strong character.
Right.
Now, who could that be? Here's a funny thing, which I didn't come across my mind. But here's one question I would like to ask you, because you probably be wondering yourself. It's been 3 arcs ago or 2 arcs ago, I'm not really sure how we branched those arcs, that we have last seen one thing that these Q Squad has been doing as CCG members, and that is gathering money for exactly who?
That's a good question. I mean, the person that came to my mind was Shirazu, but he's been dead since the Rosewall arc.
Right, but there's another person they have to take care of.
His sister.
Right.
Oh shit.
What if, because she has that rare disease that with the RC cell accelerated to the high level. And it took me a while because I had to go back and just remember her and her condition, all that stuff. Now her condition is obviously incredibly dangerous. So you can see her the fact that is all scaly, like, and I don't even think it's the the Kokaku. I think that's the one that all
it's the Kokaku.
Right. It doesn't appear that way. Now, what if Furata, because now he has everything into his control. What if he has the opportunity to just take her in and have Kano to do some crazy shit with her. And the worst thing is maybe they have her turn to like an Akagaja mode already, and everybody in CCG won't notice, even Q Squad. And then maybe, just maybe, that will be the tipping point to say we're leaving CCG, because these characters, these Q Squad needs to have a reason to leave CCG, since they keep hinting they are going to leave at one point. But right. They need to have a breaking a camo back, so to say, basically the final nail to the coffin. They need that they need that reason. There could be a lot of things. Again, you could make Muski to an enemy and then they forcibly killed her. That would make them leave CCG. But another way will be that, because they work their ass off gathering money, always paying every time they get paid themselves, only to go wasted and just become a monster for Furata's sake.
That, I mean, like, shit would get it's not like that shit would get rid, but like it would, like, chaos would just arise, like, just from that situation alone. And this is something I came up with at the top of my head, but Shirazu's sister, like, the condition she has.
Right.
What if that, in a weird way, is also used for Haru's resurrection? In some weird way.
Shit, I didn't even think of that either. It's crazy because, again, Kanu is there and he loves to experiment.
He does.
So it will make perfect sense if he has the opportunity to mess around with the girl with the very rare disease with the overproducing RC cells. So it's like, you know what? Let's test around with that and let's mess around with that. And again, now they have CCG headquarters, everything related to them under their belt. So they could do whatever they want. They could use the lab. They could use whatever the experiment they were doing before they got under control. Anything. So who to say about this case? Hell, for all we know, maybe Shinohara is already dead now too because of Furata. I was like, oh, let's just kill him. He's a waste of space. But
could be the case.
Yeah, that could be. Again, Shizuya has that breaking the camo back already, but it could go in a bad way. It depends, because he is trying to hint himself that he's gonna go back to the way he was, and just go, I don't know, like practically be a ghoul in a sense, even though that's just a metaphorically speaking, unless that would happen down the line. But I don't know. The point is, that's his breaking the camo back. The Q Squad needs to have one, and it could be either using one of the members or using Shirazu's sister as a sacrifice for CCG's sake.
I mean, that would totally fit in line with what Tokyo Ghoul's trying to do with the sense of tragedy and bringing that in. I mean, they wasting money, but they doing it because they vow, they love. They love their old brethren, Shirazu, who is now dead, unfortunately. And the last thing they wanted to do is to help
him out by saving her sister, trying to keep funding, and then all to go to waste by Furata. That would just be the last straw. Now I don't know how Muski would react because Muski is crazy, but if she doesn't react normally and leave, then she's on her own, like completely on her own. And that would be a death flag that's so up in the air that you practically could shoot a nuke and she would go. But the point is, that could be it too. So it's really hard to say right now, but I feel like that could be it because it's trying to hint that it happened to be an ally. And then, right, it happens to be an ally. Again, he has the entire facility to himself. So it could be anybody. But the fact they break down only to Q Squad, it only goes to whoever relates to them, if not are them.
Right.
And we don't know what happened to her. We know that the last time that we didn't see her, but the last time they talked about her was like 3 arcs ago, telling them like we vow for always help her out, no matter how long.
Yeah,
but now with Kondu here, I don't know.
It's possible.
Love to experiment, but like, hey, guess what? This overproducing RC stuff, it's really good. It kind of sucks that he's out of control, but worth a shot.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's mess with it.
Yeah. See, all these characters has these breaking the last straw.
The source is Kanu, man. The source is
Kanu. Yeah. Suzuya, Udi, Q Squad. Those 3 have their breaking the last straw. It's only a matter of it's only a matter of how they're gonna react to it. But we'll see what happens. But my guess is if I have to choose one, I'll say I would go with the one I just finished talking about.
That actually, yeah, I was gonna say, I think that makes the most not the most logical sense, but it's there.
It's there. I it's not a guarantee, but it's there because it makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, you got Kanu. That stupid bastard that just won't die. I don't get why is it that hard? Why is it so damn difficult to kill? Why?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
And maybe, just maybe, if you remember what Kanu was talking to Kimi about, like, hey, you got that source or you got whatever he was asking her for to get. Maybe that could be part of it.
It could be.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out why she's there, though.
Kimi, right?
That's still bugging me.
I have a feeling she's gonna show up, not soon, but I think she's gonna show up like a surprise, maybe like by the end of the arc. Like, oh my god, Nishiki, do something. Tell me what the hell's going on.
I do have an idea, but I don't know if I want to say it.
Go for it.
What if she's a mole?
We mean, oh, mole?
She's working with Kana, but she's the mole. Like, what if she's like feeding Nishiki intel?
That's a huge risk of her.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like, that's possible, but it's such a huge risk because, you know, if she gets caught, well, have fun. That's all I can say. Have fun becoming a ghoul.
I was like, oh, hold on. Why would she, like,
unless she gets,
does she know? That's the thing.
It's weird because Nishiki, it feels like Nishiki is hinting that something like a breakup happened. I don't know. It's really hard to say. Like, why Nishiki felt so shocked about, you know, Kimi being mentioned. I mean, yeah, that is shocking. Like, she was like part of this for a while, but you know, it feels like it comes across like it's something you would be discussing, but for some reason, it feels like the way how they ignore it and they respect his decision not to talk about it and just start singing the first opening. It has that feeling of like, okay, my best friend lost his girlfriend because they had a fight. So it's the wounds is still there. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna play along and make him happy. That's the feeling I got more out of anything else. So I don't get it, you know?
Right.
Like I thought everything was all good. If that,
I thought they were fine too, but I don't know. Like that's one of the biggest mysteries that's still kind of like left in the shadows. Of like, so what exactly happened? Like, what made her want to join Kano? That's what I'm curious about.
I don't know. I mean, like, part of me would like to say maybe she loves the idea that people could turn to ghouls, but is that really it? I don't know.
I hope not.
I mean, this is strange. That part is still a huge strange, very strange. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm expecting her to show up soon, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it all depends.
Well, it depends.
But going from there, we cut to, I think, oh, yeah, we got to the last page of the chapter, which, okay, so chapter opens up. We got a couple people. We're approaching the point of no return. We've almost run out of food for the journey back. We can't, I know. Just a little further, I can still feel a slight breeze. And I want to assume it's Hinami that's with Ayato. Because Ayato's the only one we can see. Huh?
The one that's tired out?
Mm-hmm.
That's possible.
Like the one that's like covered in like the hood and everything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, she's still young and not too much of a fighter. So,
right.
Still possible.
Be like, Ayato's there. He's crying and shit. Well, I mean, it looks like he's crying. He's on his knees and he says, a city. And I'm like, hold on. Like, what are you crying for? I saw this and I'm like, Ayato, explain. Like, what did you see?
I see heaven.
I hope not.
They die by going there. It'll be like that book ending all over again. The one that's a split decision. They made it or they die.
No, but like, what do you think that is? Because that's what's been racking my head. Like aside from the period stuff and aside from the whole thing with Dragon, this I'm like, hold on. So what has something about this has made Ayato like shocked and like kind of in tears? So is it like a place he knows? Is it like something from his childhood that's like coming back to him? Or
I think
it's something else.
Well, maybe it's just more like probably like a not only a surprise, but more like I don't know.
Because he said like it's a city with a question mark, so
maybe that's actually it's weird. Maybe I want to say it'd be like because I want to know why there's a city down there. Like, did that guy really made an entire city down there when he decided to say the hell with the surface? I'm going down all the way to the deep ground and just build a city. Or it's like, oh, you know, Tokyo got blow up before, so here's the new Tokyo, the surface. This is the old Tokyo. Welcome.
It's like the lost city of Atlantis, only it's not underwater.
Now, the question is, again, how they built this thing. Did they really build it themselves? Did they found it from somebody else? Was it always there?
I'm hoping that kind of gets explained because
it probably will. We just first they're gonna end up finding that first ghoul guy, one-eyed ghoul guy, and then we probably get a lot of explanation on the whole settings.
He might be here, if anything.
Yeah, what I'm curious is whether or not is how they get their sources in terms of to live, because obviously they're ghouls. Ghouls needs to live by eating flesh. They don't eat, they will go out of control and they will just eventually die unless they don't get anything else. Unless everybody has Kagaja because they probably cannibalism to themselves. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of freaky. But point is, how do they survive there?
I mean, Tsukiyama did kind of eat himself to like regenerate for like after that fight he had with Kaneki and Toka. So there's that.
Well, you could do that, yeah. But I think eventually you would go Kagajo, and I think you would lose control out of it one day.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to say now, but we'll see. So yeah, there's a city. I can't tell. It's very clean or is it very ghost town? I don't know.
It's like what? It's like what is it? Like what? Like even the captions say, "What in the world has Ayato seen?" It's like, yeah, what has he seen?
I see heaven.
At first, I was like, "Wait, is that where Art is?" And I'm like, "No, it's not." Because if it was a person, I'm sure he would have there would have been like a silhouette or something, but it isn't. It's something. We just don't know what it is yet. I can do that for certain. But I mean,
like next chapter would explain it. Well, not explain it, but I think we will get to more on this exploration.
like what the compounds of it are.
Yeah, I'm hoping it won't be just that. It'll be other things too. Like if you're gonna squeeze in 3 different meanwhiles moments, I want to know about the city because that seems like that's going to be the biggest focus, which is understandable because that's going to be.
I think it'll open up with that.
Yeah, because that is a game changer, especially the case for Kanagis. Is I don't know. I still don't know if they're gonna go all the way to 24 Ward and start raiding them because they know the location of the One-Eyed King. I'm not sure they're gonna do that yet, or they're gonna do that whole play thing with the dragon. See how they're gonna have like, oh, look at the dragon, he's so scary. Oh, you killed him, good job, bonus raise. But it's hard to say where we're gonna go first or what we're gonna focus on first. But I do think what I would like if they would focus on the city and the One-Eyed Ghoul, the first One-Eyed Ghoul. Let's just say that. I don't know if they're gonna hold us off on this whole Toka thing, which most likely that will be the case. That's
what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, it's gonna suck because I really wanted to know next. That's like that's like one of the top 3 things I want to know next. We might not know anything about that for a while, so that probably be on hold. I'll be surprised if we get it. I don't mind because I would like to get that out of the way, so I don't need to worry about too much. But we'll see.
Do you think we're gonna get more of Period in the next chapter? Do you think we're gonna like cut back away from them again?
I was wondering if we're gonna get more on the dragon thing. We probably will get more on the dragon, but unless they want to keep it as a surprise, like, oh, look at this crazy ghoul roaming the city, killing everybody. Please kill him, and then we probably had to wait for a while until we find out who it is. Like, oh my god, they just killed, like that son of a bitch. Something. But let's see, 2 chapters ago, we got every CCG covered. Well, we probably get more Q Squad. That's what I'm guessing. I think they would drop more hints on whose dragon is going to end up being.
I could see them focusing a little bit on Psycho too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe the next chapter we'll focus on the Q Squad, probably leading to the dragon. Hopefully we get an answer. Well, I'm not sure what's the progress because again, everybody's getting their stuff ready. We're gonna get dragon. We're gonna get the original One-Eyed Ghoul, which could be the original One-Eyed King. It's a lot of build up to go on. I'm not sure where exactly we're gonna head to next. Maybe another raid arc. Like I said, they know the location of the One-Eyed King, so they could just go there now.
There's also Amon and Akira, and we haven't seen them like since.
That's another thing. Yeah, we haven't seen them in a while, and surprisingly, they're not like cooperating with the goat to like, all right, we're gonna fight these CCG because they are so wrong. But now it's like wondering what are they doing right now?
Yeah, like that's my thing. I'm like, so what are they currently up to?
Yeah, it's like what I said a while back. I think it was first podcast.
Yeah,
I feel like they are building something like a group, like a faction for themselves, and they're probably going to start recruiting by the time CCG goes down under for good. Which
that would make sense
because Akira was doing a lot of bad things, technically speaking, but she's trying to find a new relief, and obviously Alma is helping her with that. So maybe this would be like the better CCG side.
Actually, instead of Psycho and Udi, which I think if the rift does happen, and Mood's probably going to stay, and if they end up joining Kaneki, which I'm totally fine with, what if it's Amon and Akira that kind of convinced them?
It's possible. Like I said, I still think, okay, I think they would be like a structure, be like, first they need a reason to leave CCG, and then they probably need a reason to join Go or join someone else instead. I guess Almon and Akira fill the second part.
Right.
Yeah. But the first part, it has to do with whatever Furuta is about to do. So that's for them. Suzuki is somewhat the same, but I think there's something else needs to happen in order to make it leave rather than like wait until everybody dies. Well, every not CCG. Wait for every ghouls to die. I think there's gonna be something else that will just push them. My best guess. Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about people who are probably going to join Amon and Akira, I think Suzi's got the best chance.
Well, yeah, he has a good chance. But, Cusco has a good chance too because they know Akira for a while.
That's true. They do.
Yeah. A lot to guess.
And a lot a lot to theorize. I guess that kind of brings us to our next point. And we talked about this a little earlier, and I wanted to save this up until now, but how many chapters do we have left until we reach the end of where the original Tokyo Ghoul ended? I think that ended up like 243, right? Was it 243, 244? I can't remember at the top of my head.
For like the last chapter, for the last series when it ended?
Yeah.
I want to say 144 or 143. Might be 143.
Let's check. Tokyo Ghoul
I don't think it will end
143.
Okay, I don't think it was end exactly the same number. I think
I don't think it's gonna end exactly, but I think it'll end around there.
I think it will end. I'll give it 155 tops.
I can see that.
I can see that happening. It really depends right now because right now we're still in the beginning of the arc.
It's still kind of in the beginning phases.
Yeah, it's in the beginning phases. They obviously gonna get they obviously recruiting everybody as much as they can in order to go into a huge war, and we'll see what happens from there point. But yeah. I mean,
it is still kind of. It's not the. I mean, I wouldn't say surprising, but it is still interesting to see like how much, like to see some of the parallelisms that's happening like within like the final arc of Tokyo Ghoul, and if this is indeed the final arc, then yeah, comparisons are there too. As far as like the parallelisms and stuff go.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot to think over. But right now, I think Perry is just sitting down and just watching the show, which is kind of funny because it almost made it feel like. Well, I think I said this already. It almost made it feel like these Perryers are like bosses of each kind. It's like, all right, so you got the entire division for yourself. So you're the first boss. Next will be me. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but I'll do something. Then you'll be the next boss, and then Uta, will be the final boss.
I was gonna say, I kind of feel like they're the audience when they talk about like, let's have like the best seats in the house. I'm like, I don't know if that's like Ishida's way of like having like, okay, let's have the Period guys be like the audience for right now, because I kind of get that sensation off of them just a little bit.
Well, we still want to understand what CCG wants. CCG Perrier wants.
Perrier wants, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what Perrier wants. Hell, we don't even know what Furuta wants. I mean, he wants super peas, but exactly how?
Right.
Like I feel like he's gonna lead to them to start killing each other one day. Like, oh, we ran out of ghouls. Let's kill each other, shall we?
It's like mass genocide. I mean, you're already doing it right now, but.
Well, yeah, they're already doing genocide. They have everybody forcefully. Yeah. Just like as a game too. Hooray! We feel.
Then we literally go Game of Thrones status.
Oh god. But yeah, it's still a lot of mystery with those Period, and that's what makes it scary because you don't even know if anybody's trusting this guy even.
Right.
It's funny because a long time ago he's just Shota. Now he's Furuta, and he's like, okay, you're player one. What are you gonna do today?
Oh god, shit. It's a lot to think about, man. It's a lot. But is there anything else that we have left to cover as far as the podcast? Because I feel like we tackled almost everything.
I believe we have.
Yeah.
Yes. It's only a matter of the next chapter to let us know what exactly are we going to focus on next. What exactly are we going to, talk about? What is the new series?
Like I told you, the city. Oh, I'm sorry. The underground city of the 24th Ward. That's what I should be saying.
They found Utopia. What are they gonna do about it? Just live there and forget about the mission?
Exactly.
Where's Ayato? Where the hell are they? We're about to die for good. It's like if Nishiki if Ayato doesn't show up with the one-eyed ghoul, this 24 war is going to die forever.
Or
That's
oh
weird.
man,
Hold on a second. Give me a second. That's weird.
what's up?
Okay. Did they update this thing? I'm still suspicious by that. But did they update this? Let me see something. And this is why we need you know it's weird. Does this series have an official translator? And I don't mean the volume releases, I mean like a weekly basis release. Oh, never mind. It didn't change.
Okay,
Never mind.
I was
False
like,
alarm.
wait, what happened?
False alarm. Because I thought the fan translator manga stream has changed the translation on the code, no longer saying Kaneki Ken. So I thought he was like, huh, they removed that? Why now? But they kept it there. And yes, it's still suspicious as ever, everyone.
Still suspicious as ever, guys.
I don't know that damn panel with him staring hard at Kaneki. And the fact is he was not chanting my king with everyone else. It's like got you, son of a bitch. It's like, oh god, I don't like where this is going.
On the other news, Volume 11, the cover has finally come out, which,
it makes sense, but Jesus.
Dark times are coming, people. Dark times are coming. As far as volumes go. As far as volumes But aside from that, guys, I think that's pretty much it as far as this podcast is concerned. Sparta, it was really great having you on board again, especially like after like a 4-week hiatus from like the last Tokyo Ghoul podcast.
It's good to be back as always. It's always good to talk about some Tokyo Ghoul's goodness, and 3 chapters worth of content is actually pretty neat to talk long and theorize a lot of moments that could happen later on, whatever there's all possibilities. It's a lot to think over actually. And like I said before, I read the chapter, before I did the review, I was stuck on the idea like who could that dragon be. It was like, I always like these theories and always like to talk about like the possibility, whether they actually happen or whether they don't. It doesn't matter so long it's executed well, and so long I'm happy to be part of this whole community itself. So I was happy to be back in the podcast. Happy to hear you again, because I thought you were like gone to the moon or something. I don't know. And it's possible. I don't know. You never know, guys.
I got a few comments like that, and I'm like, yeah, guys, I've been busy, but I promise you, like the next podcast won't take as long as it did for this one. Like if anything, that one might probably like the next one might be up by maybe Sunday, Monday. My best guess. Maybe not this one, like the following one afterwards.
Goody.
So yeah, aside from that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm Lucky G7.
SPARDA3g.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.